Castle. And it's a huge compound. It's kind of hard to see. I have some pictures I'm going to show you a little bit later. So originally the Romans came here in about 40 AD. They conquered it, they set up their fortresses, and this was very strategic for them. It's in an area of a bay, so they could launch off whenever they wanted to throughout Europe and anywhere else that they wanted to be. So the Romans were here. They basically abandoned in about 300, 400 BC with the fall of the Roman Empire. And it kind of just stayed, whatever, for the longest until the Normans came in 1100 AD. And they set up the Norman Keep, which is over there. It was an area that is made of wood, as well as then it was made stone. After that, it has an open roof. Really kind of neat. I'm about to walk into the Norman Keep of Cardiff Castle, just to kind of give you a little bit of reference. There's the castle itself, and originally, just a little bit more history, is the Normans came in about 1100 AD, that is, and then they set up shop here. This originally was a wooden keep. They call it. It's open. There's no roof on top, and then they put stone in it after. It's actually a lot. Alright, so I made it up to the keep, and this is what it is. It's an open area, again made originally of wood and then replaced with stone. And it's just sitting here. It's gorgeous. Could you imagine? See, look at those steps over here. No railings, nothing, just tiny little steps to watch out from the towers, looking at basically everything. Oh, there's some steps over there. I'm going to go up there. So behind me is the Cardiff Castle. So it has a very interesting history. So the Normans were here, they built their keep, eventually got sold this area to noble family after noble family. Some of the notables are the Tudors, the Windsors, and then it wasn't until the Marquees of Bute, the first one, who inherited it through marriage, that really the history took a life of its own, and what we're responsible for what we see behind us. His son, the Marquees of Bute II, was a very savvy businessman. He established the coal mining in this area in Cardiff, and as a result became one of the wealthiest men in the entire world at that time. Now, his son, the Marquees of Bute III, is the one who joined with Burgess. He was an architect, and they gave life to this area. They designed the inside of the castle, which I'll show many pictures of it after, in a Gothic type style. So it's very interesting inside. There's allusions to paganism, but then there's also very religious. There's areas where Genesis is shown. There's areas where Abraham and Sarai are in there. There is an area where there's the Passions of the Christ. So very interesting. I have a bunch of pictures I'm going to show about that.
Here. So it is all about time. Because see it? Look a bit harder. That's okay. As we go around, that's great. One of my favourite rooms in the room. Oh, sorry, the feature rooms, because each one is different. What did you say your book was? No.
Eventually, so it was under the Marquees of Bute for a number of years, and then eventually, where I think it was one of the most fascinating parts of this history, it became an area where during World War II, when they were under attack and under siege, sirens would go off, and about 2,000 of the inhabitants of this area would come and find shelter in this area. So eventually, then the family gave it to the city of Cardiff, which is being maintained by them right now. Enter into an area where there's a mural. So interesting. So I'm in Cardiff Castle. It's over 2,000 years old, and this mural was actually made in 1980. It took about 2 years by the city council commissioned it. It's made out of plaster and cement, and it's golden paint. So this is the Romans invading and the Silurians. The Silurians were the people who were here originally, and they show the conquest of it. So where they invaded, where they were
rooms in Cardiff Castle. This area is about the British Empire and how they, in the 1700s, 1800s, went across the world. So, it's interesting because war was all around Europe, but the British, they sent their troops out and grew this expanding empire, the Caribbean and the East Indies, and South Africa. And one of the things was the Navy was so powerful. They would use cannons as well as bayonets. They also had to have the ground soldiers. Canada was another British colony. Here's some of the beautiful, look at this stuff. The beautiful relics that they have here. They're talking about India, the East. They called India the jewel of the crown, which is, they call it rich, exotic, but chaotic. So India apparently is chaotic.
All right, so here I'm on the outside of the Cardiff Castle, and this is one of the most photographed areas. It's called the Animal Wall, and it was designed by the architect Burgess. So over there you can see two lions lined against the gate that was the entrance over there. There's the wall, and it goes behind me all the way down. So this is one of the most photographed places in all of Cardiff. Just beautiful and amazing. And a few other little notables about here. This Cardiff Castle, the Marquees of Bute, the owners, they were one of the first. They were the first actually in this city to have electricity back in the 1800s. So it's pretty impressive. Another interesting fact, and I have pictures of this, they had the first running water, the first plumbing type of system in there, and I have a picture of that where there was a bath with a hot and cold water for that. There was a toilet where you can flush into it. So very advanced with the help of the architect Burgess.